But in a nutshell, when you produce legislation, there are certain standards, and they failed to meet them. So they didn't even go out and consult. There was no discussion paper. Do you know we've had 3 discussion papers on the amendment to the heritage laws? We've spent the last 5 years looking at heritage laws. You know, we saw nothing about this. There was nothing in the media about them criminalizing protest. So there was no consultation, and I asked questions in Parliament to confirm that. I said, where did this come from? Did the police ask for this? There was no evidence at all, except for the police did say we are having trouble dealing with, you know, these protesters who are hard to move. You know, the ones that are cemented into cars, for example. And we're making the point that it is too loosely drafted. And so on that proviso, we've been saying it should be referred to committee. And a legislation committee could look at the drafting and determine whether, look at all the mountain of advice that we've got, which says it's poorly drafted and will include unintended people that weren't mentioned in the second reading speech. And then we could look at it carefully and we could propose amendments. So that's what we're doing now in the council. That's why I did a good 4 hours. And the leader of the ALP also gave it a good long speech as well. Now the reason is because it was introduced in the upper house without consultation. You didn't know about it. The media didn't know about it. The churches didn't know about it. The lawyers hadn't even looked at it. So we needed to slow it down. So we slowed it down long enough for civil society to get organized, and you're about to see how well they got organized. So it was also moved by my other colleague, Robin Chappell, who was the last speaker in that debate, to send it to committee. And when you move to send it to committee, that starts another debate. So we're currently in that debate, and there are about 4 speakers left, and I'm one of them. And Robin seems to think I have unlimited time, but I'll have at least 45 minutes, hopefully, to debate sending it to committee to make it crystal clear. And all the members are making it crystal clear why it needs to go to committee. So, meanwhile, they have no intention of supporting that, by the way. But 8 other weeks it's been listed for debate, and we have decided that bills preceding it are really important, and we've been putting a lot of effort into them. So it hasn't actually come up for 8 weeks that it's been listed. This is unheard of. I was talking to the clerk today. She says, I've never seen it come up on the weekly and never be debated for so many weeks. So we've already achieved something. We've already taught them a lesson that they can't just ram things through the upper house without civil society on side. And so, you know, that's something of an achievement.
The next one, as Lynn pointed out, is this concept of a thing. That's in the second section of the bill, which is preparation for prevention or trespass. And it makes it illegal, makes it a criminal offense to possess, adapt, or use anything that can be used to prevent lawful activity or commit a trespass. As Lynn said, that could be a lot of items. The fact that these provisions are applicable not just on public land, not just on crown land, not just on roads. These provisions will apply on a person's private property. So if you're a farmer and you don't like a proposal to explore for gas deposits that could be fracked, and you want to lock your gate to keep trucks or developers from coming onto your property, the fact that you own or lease that land is not going to be a defense to your being indicted and probably convicted, given the shift in burden of proof that Lynn has discussed, for preventing lawful activity. At this point, the developer not only has the right to come on your land, but if you dare to obstruct their right to come on your land and develop their well or dig for minerals or whatever they're going to do, you can be now criminally liable to the tune of $12,000 or 12 months in jail.
No, you need to start talking to your friends and families about this, because there shouldn't just be one protest at Cottesloe Beach with 7,000 people. There should be a lot of protests with 7,000 people and a lot of coverage on this stuff. And unfortunately, what's happening is these things are able to be snuck through because there's no media coverage and there's not enough people talking about it. So please talk to your friends and families about your concerns until it drives them insane. It took me a long time, but my husband, who is a Liberal supporter, eventually came along to our Shark Cull rally. He also now, as a result of fraudulent activity on our accounts, understands why TPP is very important. So eventually these people get it. But don't stop because you don't think you're being heard. Eventually you will break through, and we need these protests to stop silly legislation like this one.